For centuries, cassava has played an integral role in our Amerindian culture. Cassava bread and casrip are the most well known, but there are many other uses. So come join me on an exciting journey to discover cassava, our culture, our life. We begin in Georgetown, the capital, traveling by road to Purika.
What is it you have to offer? Cassava, cassava. Not only pepper, but and tapioca.
And then by boat across the mighty Essequibo to Supanam.
The Amerindian has been aware of this magic root, which gives them bread as well.
We continue through the lush Essequibo coast to Charity,
Cassava, cassava. What is
and by boat again up the Pomloon River.
cassava, cassava? Not only pepper, but and tapioca.
Out into the vast Atlantic Ocean, and then into the Maruca River, a journey which takes about 2.5 hours. Guyana is strongly committed to the protection of its abundant natural resources. This has been achieved through the establishment of a national protected area system. Shell Beach in the northwest of Guyana has been identified as a priority site for protected area status. To assist with the successful establishment of Guyana's National Protected Area System, the German Development Bank has provided support to the Environmental Protection Agency and the Guyana Marine Turtle Conservation Society to assist in identifying alternative livelihoods for user communities in the Shell Beach area. How often do we take time to thank nature for her endless bounty? For over 10,000 years, cassava has been the main staple in the Amerindian diet in places such as this. Welcome to Santa Rosa. What better place to learn more about the cassava than Santa Rosa, the largest and oldest Amerindian village in Guyana, also home to Uncle Basil, the Arawak village elder who wrote the cassava song. Thank you very much for being with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about the culture behind the cassava?
Cassava is of major importance to all Amerindians, especially in Guyana. And I was fortunate to travel to the interior of Guyana in the Rupununi, and I saw very little difference from those from the coastline as well as from the Rupununi. In addition to cassava bread, there are many other byproducts. One of the main ones is when the root is freshly grated and baked, we call that arasoka, a thick one. And that's the first one that the Amerindians use with their meat and fish. Then, of course, we spoke about the casrip. But before the casrip, there is the epuma. The fresh cassava water is cooked. It's boiled and boiled and boiled. And two things happens there. A sort of cream comes up at the top of the boiling water. And that is the main ingredient that the Amerindians use with their fish and laba meat and other meat. I omitted was the pot that is used for the real pepper pot. This pepper pot is one that is boiled in an earthen pot, and a lot of pepper, different types of pepper, are put in this thing with an addition of fish and meat from time to time. As the liquid goes down, fresh water, that is cassava water, is poured into it. It boils, more fish and meat is put. So it's a continuous process. of this hot pepper pot. And only an earthen pot can withstand the acid in the pepper and the constant boiling of that pot. Because we tried iron pots and they have holes after a while.
For any traditional Amerindian celebration, local drinks are a must, and these are all produced from cassava.
Our drinks were mostly made when we had self-help. It used to be called kayap, or as mashraman is now known. Well, it was mashraman. When the community get together and we use this drink. No rum, no alcohol, just our local cassava product. Well, there's so many drinks. One very familiar one is the payawari, and you have the parakari made in the Region 9 area. Then there's this colored one, fly. It's something like cassava mixed with potatoes.
Bake the cassava. Before you prepare them, you pound it in a matter like this. And then you sift it in this sifter. Then you get the
Meat.
we call it the grancer. And then as though we parched and threw it in the water, and then for a few days then throw sugar, and then we get this out of called the Kireli drink.
Cassava, cassava, what is it you have to offer? Cassava, cassava, not only pepper pot and tapioca. Ever since he came here, Amerindian has been aware of this magic root, which gives them bread as well as beer. Cassava, cassava, what is it you have to offer? Cassava, cassava, not only pepper pot and tapioca. In this mighty land, Guyana, all its heads of Coastal and Imperial are surely quite familiar with this magic root, cassava. Cassava, cassava, what is it you have to offer? Cassava, cassava, not only pepper pot and tapioca. Before a big spree, roots are crushed to make cassava flour. By-products are many: kasiri, parakari, payawari. Cassava, cassava, what is it you have to offer? Cassava, cassava, not only pepper pot and tapioca. And with great ingenuity, weights and sifters that these are used. The producer's staple food, cassava bread, which is really, really good.
That was Uncle Basil and his group doing the cassava song. And as the sun sets, another special moment begins.
I am Minerva, and we're here liming and we're gassing about the matapi. This matapi, it do a lot of work for us, for the Amerindian people. It is made out of mukru, and the person who make it has to be very skillful. Not everybody could make a matapi. And we use it to squeeze the cassava flesh after it's grated to make cassava bread. You also get the casrip, the epuma, the yare, and you make kadakuru, something that when people come to Morocco they want to eat kadakuru and arasuka. This is the thing that we use to produce cassava bread.
With the kadukuru, it's a kadukuru and laba.
Yes,
Laba and kadukuru.
that
And
is
Morocco too.
Morocco,
Things that you
yes.
find all in here in region.
And the arasuka thick like that.
Yes, the spacey one, the one that's spacey like that. The
Yes.
starchy ones. All right, go ahead.
And then you get starch. After you squeeze out the extract, you get starch from it. And you could make something like sago. They call it the tapioca. It makes everybody very strong, especially the men. They say it's good for the men, this tapioca sago thing. And the men just go and cut feel whole day when they use this tapioca porridge. So I would recommend that for all the men who work hard, and the women too, because they fetch a lot of weight, drugging the cassava and the quake and the warishi. I cut my finger while I was weeding. I almost cut it off. You could see the bone. And I couldn't put anything else on it. It wasn't helping. And he came and he said, the only thing will bring back the flesh good on his finger is if I put this cassava on, but it will hurt you. And I said, all right.
What kind of cassava?
Purple top. Bitter purple top.
It's a grated?
Grated. You grate the cassava and you make something like a poultice. And you put it on there. And it keep the wound very clean. And like the day when you lift it up, you could see already the flesh was covering the bone that was exposed. That's one. So I know that for a fact because this very finger here, it still feel numb. It hadn't any flesh on there. It was like if you was sharpening a pencil. So there's this, the flesh is on. And then the next one was on my foot. Just around the 29th, I was cutting bamboo and I climbed up on the top there and I fell and I got punctured. I fell on a bamboo. And it was about 1.5 inches deep. I don't like going to the hospitals. And I said, what will happen? Get antibiotics? No. I remember what my brother told me. And so I went and get a purple top. It's right in my yard. And I grated it and put it on. And it was about 1.5 inches deep. I didn't go to the doctor.
2 months later.
Yes, Auntie Dolly put on some kind of cream on it. But the cassava did that. I didn't go to... And everybody was so worried because they said, oh, you must get antibiotic because bamboo is poisonous. But the bitter cassava, the purple top, did that. It pulled the flesh right out. So I would recommend that for any... you could try it. It worked for me. Maybe it could work for somebody else too.
All right, Minerva.
Yes?
I hear that this matapi got a lot of special magical uses, especially if men are unfaithful. Can you tell us exactly what's happened?
Well, they say you could catch a man with a matapi.
How you do the...
Well, they got a special matapi. This one is to do the cassava, but there's a special matapi. You push his finger in it, so he goes everywhere you go. Can't lose. That's Uncle Basil.
Well, yes, this matapi is a replica of this, but very small.
Yes.
When it goes into mostly into the fingers, like this, you know, and it's pulled, it's stuck there, it can't move out.
Just like this, eh?
Yes.
But I suppose, and I heard some old stories from the old people, that the catcher was for lovers.
Yes. But you like a girl, and you want to get, you just tell her, put her finger in there,
Right.
Right,
and she gets stuck with you,
right.
or he. And
That's
he
right, that's
and he go wherever you go.
So what would the story now when you use the matapee to call back the husband.
Oh, that's if he gone.
Show me how you hold it
Yeah.
in the direction and so on.
Well, they say if
Them Georgian people know what all is.
they know, all right.
Right.
But when they hear that all them house go on Matapi.
You better be
Yes. All them house.
I've got to be careful. They don't point in my house one direction.
Yes. They say you point the Matapi, the direction where he would go. And you call his name, whether it's John, Harry, or Paul. And by tomorrow, he coming back. He coming back home. You would see him. That is one. They say that is true. Because they try it.
Archaeological evidence proves that Amerindians have been using cassava for over 10,000 years. And when the Europeans reached the New World, they found that the cassava crop was already being cultivated there. The cassava plant is an ancient crop which originated in South America and the Guyana Shield. There are over 67 varieties and 3 subspecies. Passing Kamaka Landing, we head up the river to Maracaibo. Cassava cultivation is a real family affair, and we're at Adelina's house, and she's going to tell us more about this and also show us how the best cassava casrip in Moruca is made. Good morning, Adelina. Good morning. How you doing? I just told them that you make the best casrip in Moruca.
Yes.
So we come to learn about that.
Yes.
Adelina, thank you very much for having us at your home in Maracaibo. I understand that cassava cultivation is just not about planting a crop, that there's more about keeping the whole family together. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yes. The men had to ambush, cut down, burn, then you clean the stalk, then you plant your cassava. After you plant it and it grow, you weed, keep the under the tree clean. Then in 9 months, you start to rip the cassava.
So the 9 months is like the same time you have a baby, like
you
so
got a
you can
baby.
say that when you plant the cassava is like also giving birth.
Yeah.
Right. And after that was happen.
Then you go and you haul the cassava, fetch it down, you scrape it clean, and then you grate it. Grate it with your naturally strength. Grate it, then you done grate your matapi. And when you're done matapi, when you drain out all the water from the cassava, then you keep it 1-2 days.
This is the water.
Yes.
You told us about grating and squeezing out the juice. Well, the juice part is a real important part because that is what you use to make the best casrip in Moruca.
Yes, when you don't squeeze it from the cassava, from the flesh, you could say, then you put it in the pot and you boil it. You take the cream and then you put the cream in another pot. Then you boil it, you push the fire, boil.
And how long does boiling is take?
This boiling taking for a whole day.
Oh my goodness. And I understand you got to stir it all the time too because if you left it, it can boil over.
Yes. That's why the casrip is very hard work, more than this grating of this cassava. Because you cannot move. You have to keep nearby.
So I didn't realize it's all that whole day boiling and stirring.
And you have to get plenty of them, the same wood. Always push the wood. You see when they burn out, you put another set of wood again.
So what you have is the whole day of pushing the fire
Yes.
and then whole day stirring.
Stirring.
So it's not like you could just put
on.
on the thing on the fire and then leave it.
Then when it get brown, you strain it in a clean cloth. And what the dust can pass. And you see water left clear when you don't strain the cashew. Then you boil it again and then it turn for jam now. Like
Black.
that.
Adelina, I can't tell the difference between sweet and bitter cassava. How you going to tell the difference? Teach me.
By looking, if you don't know, by looking you cannot know if it's sweet cassava or bitter cassava. But if you taste it, then you're going to know.
What I'm interested in as well is that this cassava, they've been planting it from hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago, right? So obviously there's skill passed on from generation to generation.
My grandmother teach me mother, and my mother now she start to show me how to use it, how to boil it, and how to use it, how to cook with. And now, whenever she dead now, well, it's me left now. Whenever she died now, it's me left. Now me showing me children them how to boil the cashew and how to cook with it, how to use it. And I telling them about how that is medicine, the cashew there. When the children get sore mouth, you just take it with cotton and you wipe it out in the mouth, the sore mouth done. I like small babies, but it burn. And when they get cold, you use it with lime juice. When they get burn, you use it, put on the burn. The cooking, you have to make stew with it. If you get your meat, your wild meat, you cook your wild meat, you put your cashew. And even if you get a chicken, you cook it same thing with the cashew. And it keep the meat flesh brown and nice. That is how we use in the cashew. Because you mostly can't get pure curry and all kind of thing, you know. If you don't have money, how you going to buy your curry? And you add a thing where that's mixed stew with. The cashew, that you know.
Amazing. It took the juice from 1,000 pounds of cassava to give us this one bottle of cassava cashew. I would have never thought it would be so hard.
Bye, thank you.
We left amazed, and on the 20-minute boat ride back, we sat in silence, staring at the beauty of this land, the tranquility of this community, contemplating the strength and ingenuity of women like Adelina and their ability to do so much with so little. After a brief visit to bustling Santa Rosa, the center of activity in Moruca, we were back on the river, heading to Cuero, a 3-minute boat ride, ready to meet another dynamic group of women there. We're on our way to Helen's house to learn how cassava bread is made. I am here today to visit my friend Helen.
Nice having you with us today.
And all the women who are here with the important part of cassava bread making. Helen, can you tell us a little bit about your women's group?
Our women's group are engaged in doing the cassava bread because this is our mainly diet on it. And I love my cassava bread. And we use the cashew not as often as we use the cassava bread.
It's like how we use bread in Georgetown.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So does your women's group have a name?
The name of the women's group is Yucatan. Yucatan is an Arawak word meaning like us here working together, women working together, coming together, make work easier for us.
Tell me about the first step, what we have to do.
Well, we have to scrape this cassava root. We scrape it out, take off all the skin. The inside one there, look at, you can feel it out. And meet my friend Doreen, friends. Doreen is scraping, she's working.
Hello,
in the
Doreen.
group.
This looks like a lot of hard work.
Yes, it's a hard work.
Yeah.
And that we use everything from the cassava. The only thing that we don't use is the skin that we peel out from here.
What do you do with it?
Well, we would take it and put it to the water corner. And old people say it go to put there so it can keep away the water mama.
What is the water, Mama Helen?
It's people in the water. We understand it's people in the water.
Like water spirits?
Yes, like the mermaid.
Okay.
Something like the mermaid. And other people would use it to mold their plants like the banana stuff and so. Doreen, please learn on it that night.
Let me see. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Doreen. Here, back to you. Better continue doing this. you make it look so easy.
The next step is the washing the cassava root. We have to ensure that this cassava root is very clean because there's a lot of sand. Remember this? And so as to get quality cassava bread, we have to ensure that it's very clean. Third step in the cassava processing, the grating. Grating the cassava root, you could even dance, move your body. You're getting the sound of the cassava root on the grater. This is where you need a woman's strength. You could even shake your waist, you know, as you're grating. The grated cassava root is called the masa. And the old people would tell the young girl when they're grating the cassava, don't forget to put the masa below the grater. Just like this. So when they get pregnant in 7 months, then their tummy could start showing. This masa we can use it for so many purposes. One is for any cut that you get on your foot, on your hand, or a snake bite. We would put salt and other things inside, like leaf, and put it on that spot, and it would stop the bleeding and heal whatever is a cut or a snake bite. So it's very useful. Next, we have Marjorie here. Marjorie has all the strength to lift this matapee up and put it there. You can see how she would jump at the matapee just now with joy. She's putting the masa inside the matapee, and then she would put it on the matapee stand to get the poisonous juice squeezed out. So therefore, Marjorie will have to put her strength and clap, but she cannot laugh because if she only laugh, it could fall on the ground. Now we have Marjorie here. She's pushing the wood through the matapee. Then push it to the matapee stand so it can squeeze out the poisonous juice from the masa. Now we have to sit on the matapee wood so we can get enough weight to get the juice out of the masa. If there isn't enough weight, then the masa would not be dry enough so that we can sip it to get the cassava bread.
Let me join you girls. Sometimes you need even a third person to sit on the matapee to get out the juice. Just imagine the strength of this matapee, that the three of us, we are easily over 500 pounds, sitting on this stick, and the matapee is yet not even showing a strain. What an engineering wonder. How did our Amerindian foreparents know about this, you know?
When we squeeze out all the juice from the masa, Marjorie could take it out, put it in the adjuster. We call this thing the adjuster. Now we're taking out the masa. When it's squeezed, well, we don't call it masa anymore. We call it the mealy now.
The masa is wet and the millie is dry.
Yeah. Then we take this mealy from here and we bring it into the mata.
We put it in here so we can pong it to get it finer so it can be free to sift in the sifter. Now we have Susan here. Susan is sifting out the mealy here. She have to sift all of this thing out. And now we move on to the baking of the cassava bread. This is the hoop that we use.
Helen, I heard in the old days that these hoops came off of the old barrels.
Yes, Annette, that's exactly.
I
what
also
happened.
heard that in the old days, instead of using these pans, the Amerindians used to heat the stones, and then the cassava bread was baked on those heated stones.
Yes, Annette, that's true. So now I can place the hoop on the pan, on this one here, and Susan would do the baking. Now Susan is spreading the mealy on the pan, so she would get the cassava bread. This pan is made of the palm from the aqua tree. They strip the palm and some old fellow would make the platter to make this. Without this pan, we cannot bake the cassava. That is how we people does it in Molucca. Now we are cutting the cassava biscuits here now, ready to put in the sun so it can dry and ready for packing. On my left there are some cassava biscuits already dry and Jackie's packing it in the bag ready for marketing. If it's on a rainy day, we have to toast the cassava biscuit. Keep turning it all the time so it wouldn't get brown in color. It's a lot of work. Next, when the cassava biscuit is being toasted, we take a knife and we clean out the biscuit very clean. Then we put it in the bag like this, and this is ready here to go on sale.
What a long process. This tastes delicious. But what tastes good is also good for your health. Did you know that cassava bread is high in fiber?
Yes,
It has no gluten, and it's an excellent meal source for diabetics.
You can have one more on it.
Thank you very much.
Another product from the cassava is the starch. After the water has been settled, this is what we get, the starch. And this starch is very good, especially for the men, because we toss it into on the pan, which we call it tapioca. And we pong it, get it fine. Tomorrow morning we would make loud porridge. And this is good for the men. It builds the back and strengthens the front.
Just imagine, without this brilliant piece of Amerindian engineering, we would have no cassava bread or no cassava casrib. Adelina, can you please explain to us how the matapi is made?
You got to look for these materials, this mukru. There who go far in the bush to look. You got to get a good long length of this, like this, just to make this matapi.
How much?
You got to get 6 for the top, me could say the head, and you got to get 10 for this body here. Then you strip it. You strip. Then you get them this, take out them this thing here. And then you start down and then you start here. This is how we start. This one here, you see? You start here. This how we start here, then you come with this end here and then you join off here and you get this. Then you start to make this thing here till you meet here and you make this foot and you come back to this thing here. Then you get, that is how you get done, and then you're going to get to squeeze the cassava, because we call it cassava flesh. And then to squeeze out in here, to squeeze out the water and get the cast strip.
How much days does it take you to make a matapi?
Me just make 1 day to make a matapi, or 1 day and a half. If I start to strip this morning, like this time, I can start there. So when I start there now, and I got some other work to do, I can leave it. Tomorrow morning I can finish it with the cool weather. Because when the place hot like now, you can't do them this thing. You see how stiff it get? So morning early when it cool weather, then this thing good for you could weave you on and make it.
Today, the women of Region 1, the official organic region of Guyana, are involved in the Northwest Organics line of production. To earn this distinctive shell-shaped label, the products must meet uncompromising quality. The Northwest Organics initiative benefits the environment, your health, and the livelihoods of the indigenous communities of Region 1. So, the next time you see a Northwest Organic product with its distinctive seal, such as the casrip or cassava bread, I know that you will now truly understand the great effort that goes into making this special product for you.